This is Renee Romeo of ReneeRomeo.com. Today I'm putting together a last-minute Christmas decorating project, and what I'm doing here is I'm using 2 animated reindeer, we've all seen these, and some mini lights. So I waited till the last minute, but you know, one of the great things about waiting is that I walked in on a wonderful sale on all of these products. So this is a great tip. Hopefully this project will only take me about an hour, and I'm going to show you start to finish assembling the reindeer and then doing something really creative with the mini lights. Now, before I get started on the reindeer, I'm going to lay out all of these little mini lights and I'm going to pull them apart. This is really important, especially on a cold day, because these things tend to kind of freeze up on you and just want to stay the way they were in the box. So you want them to lay out a little bit and get a little bit of sunshine, however much there is, so that they can lay out and become a little bit more pliable. So surprisingly, you don't need any tools to assemble the reindeer. It's all done with twist ties, which is really kind of great. I don't know how sturdy they'll be in the end, but we'll see how it goes. From that point, I have a couple of outdoor extension cords. They do need to be outdoor extension cords because you want to make sure that these are going to function safely. So make sure you have that. From that point, I have an outdoor timer, and this one is a dusk to dawn type version. I have an outlet extender, which I'll need because I'm going to be putting a couple of reindeer on one line and then some mini lights on the other. And then I have some clear plastic, and so my clear plastic is actually some food storage bags, and I have some electrical tape because I need to go ahead and wrap up every little junction between the extensions to make sure this thing won't short out in case it rains. So the great thing about this reindeer is that it's already pre-wired, so you don't have to run any of the lights through the little creature. But you do have to attach the legs, and the legs come with 3 posts. And there are 3 corresponding post holes, so we're just going to line these up and get the leg nice and secured. So everything is in place. And to my wonderful discovery, I have zip ties included with this. Not twist ties, but zip ties. And I'm just going to secure this, and you almost can hear a little zip. Getting it nice and secure. You can pull that really tight, just like so. That leg isn't going anywhere, and I can trim off the ends and no one will ever know they're there. Just like so. Now, there's a stabilizer bar that goes between the front legs and the back legs, but what I've noticed here is that with this material, it's a plastic material that they're using as this wicker, you may need to trim some of this away because in order to get this back leg into this little piece, you've got to trim it out. And so it's trimmed out, and we're just going to insert it into the corresponding little piece of metal so that we can get this nice and secure. So I made sure that I have 3 zip ties on each and every leg because I want it to be extra secure. But at this point, I'm getting ready to install the head, and the head rotates left to right. So there's a little mechanism in here for the motor that's going to turn that. And there's a little post here with a cotter pin on it. There's a cotter pin on this post, and there's a cotter pin on the bottom. And so this one is just going to handle actually just rotating on and pivoting. And this is the one that's going to actually make the thing move. So the rod gets placed onto this, and there are 2 little posts here that get inserted into little circles in the metal. So making sure all those 3 are lined up just perfectly, we're just going to press those in place. And then I'm taking 2 cotter pins. Now, these are very tiny, but they're very, very powerful in keeping these in place. And they just slide on just like that. Now, both of these are going to keep this in place just beautifully. Now I'm installing a zip tie on the top and the bottom. And this is just so that the neck isn't going to go flying around, and you don't really need to tighten this one down all that much because you don't want to impede that rotation. It's just enough to keep it in place so that it's not going to fall off, and trim that off. So the method of attachment is a little different for this reindeer. The neck is actually going to hang, and it's going to come up and down. And so this is a metal piece attached to the motor inside. And what it's going to do is it's going to come through a little piece in the back of the neck. So there's a corresponding square piece here. And so it's just going to run through here like so. And then it has a couple of hooks, and the 2 hooks, 2 corresponding hooks, 2 hooks, one on either side. You're just going to maneuver this in so that it's hanging there nicely. And then make sure that all your wiring goes to the inside of this. And then a cotter pin gets installed on the end of that little metal piece. So we're going to install that just to keep everything nicely in place. The method of attachment for the ears, it's just a metal post and it goes right into the corresponding hole, and it's pretty secure here, so you really don't need to go ahead and put zip ties in its place. And the antlers for this guy, they're just rods as well. They get put into these little holders and pressed into place. And here comes the other antler, all lined up together. And the ears are facing back on this one, so this goes in here and the other one goes in the other side. And sometimes it's hard to find where these little pieces are, but the tail goes in just like so, same way on both of them, and this is ready to go. Now each foot comes with its own metal stake, and so this metal stake is going to go through the metal of the foot into the ground. And you might need a little extra help, especially this time of year, so you might need to get your foot involved in order to get it in. Perfect, nice and secure. Same thing with this one. So in order to get enough outlets that I need to complete the entire look here, I'm taking my cord from the reindeer and I'm inserting it into this extension. So it's a 3-prong extension. I'll take one extension cord and put it in the side. So I'm plugging this directly into my outdoor extension, and this goes straight to the house and straight to that automatic timer. I'm taking another extension and I'm plugging that into that hub. So I've plugged one set of mini lights into this hub, and that's the last portion of the hub that's filled. So you'll see these are incandescent and the reindeer are LED, but they glow warm, so they're going to look exactly the same at night, which is really great. So at this point I've got my food storage bag. It's going over the entire hub, and I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this with some electrical tape so that everything is nice and secure and water can't get in there and short anything out on me. So the mini lights, this is my favorite part of the entire project because this is something that I do every single Christmas. I have them laid out all over the front yard and I lay them directly onto the ground. Now, why do I do that? Well, it's so simple. You don't have to, take time and lay them out perfectly. You can just really throw them directly on the ground. It's going to look gorgeous, and especially in the northern part of the country where I live, when it snows and snow falls on top of it, the entire snow glows that's above it. It's just a gorgeous treatment. So if you've never thought of doing this, do this. And I'm doing it this year to make it look like there's water coming down the waterfall. I'm all finished with the project. It took about an hour and a half start to finish, so it did take a little longer than I had anticipated, but sometimes that goes with the territory of trying something new. But it was quick and it's an easy project for you to do, and look, it looks gorgeous. So laying these little mini lights on the ground, I think, is one of the greatest last minute tips I can give you for Christmas. It is the easiest thing to do. If you have a fountain, you can kind of have them cascade over your fountain. If you don't have a fountain, you can put them serpentine style all along the front pathway to your front door, and it makes such an incredible impression on your guests. And when it snows, the light just glows through the snow. It's just beautiful. So take an hour and a half, do this for yourself. Your friends and family that are coming to visit you for the holidays will so appreciate it. And look, now they've got something gorgeous to look at when they look out the windows of the house to the backyard, which ordinarily looks drab and dreary. So this is Renee Romeo of ReneeRomeo.com. I'll show you what it looks like when the lights go down, and you're just gonna love it. Merry Christmas.